Open cold, a black sky over Belgarod. Headlights crawl along a rural road, engines hum. Then, at 3:47 a.m., the horizon turns white. This was not a random blast. Ukraine pulled off one of the sharpest strikes of the war. A $600 million convoy carrying North Korean ballistic missiles into Russia vanished in fire. The hit did more than destroy hardware. It sent a message. Kyiv can see deep, think fast, and strike with partners when it matters most. The target was near the Russian border town of Belgarod. For weeks, Ukrainian intelligence watched the route. Satellites traced movements. Intercepts mapped calls. Drones checked stops and fuel-ups. By the time the convoy crossed into Russia, Ukraine already had a kill plan. The cargo was rare and dangerous. At least 8 transporter erector launchers rolled in a staggered file. Several trucks followed with warheads, fuel, and control systems. They were ready weapons. Each missile married North Korea's production with Russia's shortage and need. Every mile the column moved was a risk to Ukrainian cities. The backstory runs far east. The shipment began at Rajin, a North Korean port busy since 2024. Containers with Korean cereals slid onto Russian rail cars under guard. The line wound through Primorsky Krai. From there, the plan was simple. Keep rolling west, feed depots that supply the front in the Donbass, and reload launchers before winter. Ukraine broke the plan. At 3:40 a.m., long-range drones fixed the convoy. Minutes later, modified Neptune cruise missiles punched in from a distance. The first impacts ripped open the column. Fuel and oxidizer went up. Warheads cooked off. The night turned to noon. People across the Belgarod region saw a sun-bright flash and heard blasts for half an hour. Dawn told the rest. Recon teams filmed a scorched lane of wreckage. What had been a guarded train of launchers and trucks became twisted frames and black earth. Satellite shots later that morning showed at least 6 carriers burned out. 2 more trucks were melted and torn, their cargo marked by fragments with Korean letters. The money figure, by conservative count, cleared $600 million. That does not include crews killed in the fire. Nothing about this was luck. The GUR, Ukraine's military intelligence, tracked the column for days. Western partners fed real-time satellite passes and signals data. Every halt was logged, every detour was mapped. The strike did not just hit a target. It proved months of warnings that Pyongyang has been feeding Russia munitions in secret, by ship, by rail, by back roads few people watch. For years, sanctions tried to choke that pipeline. Kim Jong-un still found customers. Russia still found ways to buy. Both bet on darkness. Yesterday, Ukraine lit that darkness on fire. The symbolism is heavy. Kyiv not only removed missiles that could have hit Kharkiv or Dnipro, it cut through a deal between 2 of the most sanctioned states on Earth. North Korea loses money and face. Russia loses supply, aura, and deniability. If Moscow needs pariah partners to keep shooting, its war machine is weaker than it admits. This strike also marks a shift in Ukraine's posture. Early in the full-scale war, the country fought on its heels. Cities hardened. Air defenses hunted missiles overhead. Now the play is different. Kyiv is reaching into Russia to cut arteries, oil depots, ammo hubs, rail yards, factories. Each hit slows the front. Each blast says the border is not a shield. There is a political thread here too. The Russia-North Korea channel has grown since 2023. That September, Kim took his armored train to Russia and met Vladimir Putin at the Vostochny Cosmodrome. Publicly, they spoke about space and tech. Privately, they talked about shells and rockets. By early 2025, officials counted more than 3 million shells shipped and multiple batches of short-range missiles transferred. The Belgarod convoy looks like the next bigger step. What was on those launchers matters. Analysts believe the cargo included KN-23 and KN-24 short-range ballistic missiles, cousins to Russia's Iskander. Each can fly about 400 kilometers and carry a 500-kilogram warhead. In Russian hands, they threaten power plants, rail nodes, and brigades across eastern Ukraine. Stopping them before they could be fired may have prevented one of the worst barrages of the war. The intelligence picture surprised many who underestimated Ukraine. In the invasion's first months, Kyiv's defense was reactive: intercept, fortify, endure. Now, the country fuses satellites, SIGINT, drones, and cruise missiles into a tight kill chain. It is coalition warfare in the data age, where the right picture at the right second beats mass. Reactions came fast. Washington, London, and Seoul praised the precision and condemned the trade. South Korea's defense ministry called it a turning point that exposed the North's illegal weapons business. Others said debris matched known North Korean designs. At the UN, members pushed for a probe and tighter sanctions. Even China urged restraint and stayed away from optics. Moscow went quiet at first. State TV ignored the blast, then floated a line about a fuel accident. It did not hold. By evening, Russian channels posted plumes of smoke and fireballs on the horizon. The official story collapsed under the weight of video and ash. The hit stings because it exposes more than a convoy. It reveals the hole in Russia's industry. Sanctions and war have gutted microelectronics and precision stocks. Domestic missile output fell after 2023. To fill the gap, the Kremlin leaned on Iran for drones and on North Korea for shells and missiles. That choice is now a liability. Each outside purchase can be tracked and punished. Each partner drags Russia deeper into isolation. Inside Pyongyang, this is a bruise and a bill. The deal was supposed to bring fuel, grain, and technical help. Losing means fewer resources and more questions. The regime prizes image and control. A failed high-value shipment undercuts both. In a system that punishes failure hard, the fallout could be severe. Ukraine's public saw something else: justice before launch. The missiles meant for their cities burned on Russian soil. For a country told for years that Russia's deep rear was off limits, the video of flaming tells felt like a page-turner. The psychological shock inside Russia is real. The state has sold safety at home as an unbreakable promise. This strike cracks that promise. If Ukraine can see, track, and hit a guarded convoy inside Russia, what else can it reach? Air defenses are rising in border regions. Movements of high-value cargo are paused. These are not signs of confidence, they are signs of fear. Strategically, the loss is bigger than the price tag. Ukrainian sources say Russia's missile stocks are thin, maybe a quarter of pre-war levels. If the Belgarod column held up to 40 missiles, those were meant to stretch winter firepower. Now they are gone. Moscow must either slow launches or funnel scarce parts into new builds. Either choice hurts. Logistics get harder too. Russia can reroute. It can hide cargo better. It can fortify the Trans-Siberian Railway. But space does not equal safety. Satellites watch the tracks. Ukrainian drones and missiles can range deep. Secrecy costs time and money, and both are running short. The Belgarod strike fits a pattern. Ukraine has hit ammo depots in Kursk, set oil tanks ablaze in Bryansk, and hacked defense suppliers in St. Petersburg. Each action trims the edges of Russia's capacity. None ends the war alone. Together they crush the machine that feeds the front. The blow also shakes Moscow's loose block. Iran knows its drone shipments draw penalties. Belarus knows transit can make it a target. Now, North Korea holds the bill for a public failure. Reports say Pyongyang paused some transfers to review routes. Friends of convenience are not built for risk. Abroad, the response is widening. South Korea is stepping up work with NATO to watch North Korean cargo. Japan voiced support for Ukraine's proactive defense. The European Union is eyeing new sanctions on maritime firms that enable the trade. The net is tightening. There is a doctrine under all this: deep interdiction. Don't just block missiles in the sky. Don't just hold trenches. Go for the factories, the rails, the depots, and the foreign pipelines that keep the fire going. The 3:47 AM strike is that doctrine at full speed. It shows how precision, patience, and partnership can bend a larger enemy's plan. President Volodymyr Zelensky kept it simple. Every missile that misses our cities is a saved life, he said. Truth, intelligence, and courage can beat tyranny. What comes next matters. Planners hint this was not a one-off. More targets fit the same pattern. Rail junctions, fuel farms, missile plants. If Ukraine keeps breaking links faster than Russia can patch them, the cost curve will turn against the Kremlin. Wars end when the math breaks. By nightfall, the smoke over Belgarod had thinned. The scrap still hissed. The convoy was gone. The risk it carried was gone with it. But the echo of that flash kept moving through Moscow's halls, Pyongyang's bunkers, and beyond. Authoritarian deals depend on secrecy, speed, and the faith that nobody will intervene. At 3:47 AM, secrecy failed. Speed was not enough, and someone did intervene. Ukraine reached into the dark and pulled a thread. The whole weave shook. That is the story of the 3:47 strike. A quiet road, a bright sky. A convoy that was supposed to change the battlefield was erased before it could aim. And a reminder that, in modern war, the side that sees better and moves faster does not need to be bigger to win. Stay with this channel. We are breaking down the Shadow War, how satellites, signals, and smart weapons are redrawing the map. If this helped, share it.